Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In this one, we'll be checking out the new Military Trench Megascan sample project. This brand new free Quixel Megascan sample just dropped yesterday, and it comes packed with a bunch of World War I themed assets. You got modular logs, sandbags, planks, mud, dirt, barbed wire, basically everything you need to build out trench pathways and fortified structures. On top of the sample project itself, Quixel also released the individual assets on Fab, so you can easily pull them into your own projects. And that's especially nice considering a lot of the recent Megascans releases have been locked behind a paywall. So whether you guys are just making a game, a cinematic, or just experimenting with Unreal Engine, this project is definitely worth checking out. And if you guys are new here to the channel, my name is Smart Poly. I make all sorts of Unreal Engine news and content. And if you are interested in learning Unreal Engine for game development, I have some exciting news. My Unreal Engine 5 multiplayer survival game course bundle now has a 25% off limited time sale. To commemorate the launch of Unreal Engine 5.7, we're having a special 25% off discount. So use code UNREAL57 at checkout when you purchase the survival game course bundle. Get access to over 100 hours of learning content between both courses included in the single bundle, and kickstart your game development journey today. So check it out, link in the description below, or head over to my website smartpoly.teachable.com to learn more. And with all that out of the way, let's get right into the video. Okay, so here we are in the sample project, and as you can see, this environment is super well detailed, and everything in this level is using Nanite, as well as the landscape. You'll see the landscape here in a second, but they're also using Nanite displacement. Let me go ahead and just make this full screen for you guys. So yeah, check this out. So we have this little boardwalk over here, small little trench environment. The map isn't too big, but as you can see, we have sort of like this sunrise off in the distance. There's quite a bit of different props in here, things like ammo boxes, some barrels. Yeah, I don't really know if the assets is following a general military trench theme or if it's specifically World War I. Kind of just reminds me or giving me like 1917 vibes if you guys have watched the World War I movie. But yeah, look at all of the sandbags, some of the ammo crates there. And I'll show you guys all the assets that come included here in a second. But yeah, here is a little sign that says, keep to the trench in daylight, I think. Not really sure what that's supposed to mean. But yeah, over here, I think is it's a little blocked out. And then there's sort of like a dead end over here. So yeah, that is pretty much the entire map in a nutshell. So a very simple map. I can actually go ahead and zoom out here, show you guys sort of the overall level. So pretty nicely detailed environment, and I even set up the playable character. So here's our third person character. We're in the environment, and in order to set this up, I'll show you guys how to set it up as a playable character here in a second. But the most important thing is that some of the collisions are messed up in this environment, so you have to go ahead and fix those. But yeah, look at all the reflections on our character. And also the sunlight. I thought that the sky in this level was a simple skybox, but it's actually, they're using the volumetric clouds. So yeah, check this out. We have sort of like this bunker, I think, but you can't enter in there. Okay, over here is the end of the trench. This kind of makes you want to make sort of like a zombie World War I COD Zombies game where you're running through the trenches and you have to clear the different waves of zombies, and you have sort of like the classic World War I guns, maybe like things like flamethrowers as well. But yeah, I definitely need to check this out in the first person character as well. I only set up the third person because I think this is supported for like 5.6. I think they might have also released it for 5.7. But yeah, let's go ahead and show you guys the Nanite view real quick, because as you can see, it is pretty crazy. So what's crazy about this scene is they're using Nanite displacement on the landscape. So you can see we have a little landscape over there. But what's crazy about it is if we zoom in on some of these assets, like you can't even see the triangles, they're little dots, which is kind of crazy. That's like a lot of triangles just for the landscape and for some of these rocks. So yeah, everything in this scene is pretty much using Nanite other than the sky there. Okay, we even have this little area down in here that is blocked off. But yeah, look how detailed, like these rocks in particular, these ones aren't as bad as like the ground itself. Yeah, if I zoom in on, I think like this is the terrain. You can't even see the triangles. They're like little dots, which I think is just crazy. It must have like millions, if not like billions of triangles at that point. But yeah, look at the barbed wire as well. So yeah, all these assets, they even uploaded them to Fab, which is pretty nice. Because then on Fab you can add them individually to your projects, and also if you don't need the Nanite detailed assets, like say you're making a game that doesn't need all the Nanite detail, you just want the LODs, you can also get those LODs from the assets on Fab, which is very nice. And a lot of the recent releases on Fab for Megascans have been locked behind like a paywall. Like basically pretty much every Megascan asset that they're releasing now, you have to buy individually. So it's like $1.99 per asset, which is pretty expensive. They're not sold in packs. So it's kind of a rare opportunity now when they give away a free asset pack or sample project like this. Another thing neat to note about this project is that they've also released a free learning video on the YouTube channel. So if you want to see how they actually made some of the materials in here, things like the material blending, as well as some of the assets were generated with PCG, so like the scattering. And also they've gone into things like performance optimizations using stuff like Unreal Insights. So all of that is covered in, I believe, the 30-minute or 40-minute video on the Unreal Engine YouTube channel. I'll link it in the description below, but it's pretty nice to see that they're releasing some learning content along with the sample project. Okay, so here are all the assets that come included. So we have a couple of different assemblies over here. So these are sort of like the prefabbed asset pieces that they've assembled together by using a bunch of different Nanite and Quixel Megascans assets. So yeah, you can just see how detailed some of these things are. Even like stuff like the wire on there. You know, when you kind of zoom in too closely, you can sort of see it kind of just looks like a bunch of random meshes and topology. But that's kind of just how the Nanite mesh looks when you get like way too close to it. So yeah, look at some of those. We got some board planks over here. We have a couple of different trench pieces, some metal over there, some logs. So yeah, I'm not sure if this is supposed to follow like a World War I theme or just a general military trench environment, because some of these assets, like if we look over here, some of these boxes may have not been from the same era. So maybe someone who's an expert can give their advice down in the comments. Okay, we have a couple of these different roof pieces, and over here in the back are all the different props. So some sandbags over here, different wall pieces, modular trench pieces. So yeah, you could definitely just build out a game environment with this. Maybe even make your own little cinematic. This kind of makes me want to make some sort of like COD Zombies game, like World War I shooter, where you have just all the World War I weapons. So it'll be a lot harder to kill zombies because you have to focus on things like headshots. But yeah, here are some of the sandbags, and these things are detailed as well. Just quite a bit of sandbag variations here. And then over here are some different walls using different logs. And we have some tree meshes, so some dead tree, different sticks, twigs. Even have different barbed wire. Okay, some different smaller rock props. And then here are some of like the craters, the bomb craters, I guess. Trench walls, different dirt piles, and much more. And some of the different rock pieces. So yeah, it's always nice when they release a sample project to go along with the assets, because oftentimes they'll just release a group of Quixel assets and no sample project. But it's nice to see that they're finally releasing some free Quixel assets after, you know, they've been releasing all the ones that have been locked behind the paywall. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this asset pack down in the comments down below. Is this something worth checking out for you guys? Do any of these assets actually interest you enough to download the pack or claim them from Fab? Let me know down in the comments down below. And that's pretty much it for this video, so I'll see you guys in the next one.